Okay, let's call to order the January 16th, 2026 meeting of the Downtown Development Authority. Can we have a roll call, please? Can you get
Sure.
your microphone on? Yep.
Time of roll call 12:01. Mike Green.
Here.
Bruce Gaynter.
Here.
Pam Schermeyer.
Here.
Alex Green. Tracy Williams.
Here.
Fred Prime. Dr. Felton. Charlotte Jones.
Here.
Dan Sugg.
Here.
We have quorum.
Do we need to excuse absent members?
Yes.
Everybody in the-
Yeah, I want to let you know.
They did not.
Okay. Moving on, approval of the agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, then let's move on to approval of the minutes from our November meeting. We did not meet in December.
Make a motion to approve the November minutes.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, and consent agenda. Okay. I did have a question about the financial report, but I can't remember what it was.
You're welcome to reach out if you have any questions
Yeah,
next week. If
yeah. Oh, I think it had to do with a large amount of money being moved from
The
one
to
area
and
to
from, the
another.
due from account made a big adjustment.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah,
a
It's
big,
in the total on the bottom, but for some reason they put it in a
Yeah.
different account. I'm not
yeah, I just didn't know if that was just a common practice where you wait till the end of the year to move things from one account to another. I don't know.
It's relatively common, especially now, and you'll see it later in the agenda where we have budget amendments, where we're looking to do a lot of things. A lot of the chart and due to, due froms, or the state of Michigan has updated their chart of accounts. So there's a lot of dollars moving from account to account right now.
All right.
Everything
The
seems.
bottom line looked good, so that's what I mainly cared about. Okay, so approval of the consent agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, moving on. Our first public comment area. Would anybody like to speak? If so, come up to the podium.
Hi, Lauren Barris, and I just want to report a little bit on the LVMF, and I'll have a spot, I think, later on the agenda, too. But we're already in planning stages. So I wanted to bring everybody up to date on what has happened in the last week. It's been substantial. We carried $8,346 from the 2025 LVMF, and with the DDA's commitment and current pledges, like the $3,000 just pledged to me from the community Congregational Church, and pledges from 3 other local businesses just this week, I'm comfortable estimating $24,000 in sponsorship so far. We're moving into an experienced festival branding spot, and people are recognizing us, and they're asking us if they can be sponsors and if they can perform. We're now booking acts and securing our vendors. We now can book our acts and secure our vendors and start ordering our branding materials, because we don't have to wait for checks to come in from sponsors where we've had to do it the last 3 years. To give you perspective on fundraising so far, we raised $32,045 in sponsorships last year, and this year we're 75% there already in the first week.
Wow, that's wonderful.
We're hoping to carry a balance and be self-sustaining so that we can ultimately help other areas of the city. I'll go over in a little bit. Artwork, Bob, my husband, has been working tirelessly on the 2026 LVMF logo and branding. The logo's set now, and we'll start branding other things, posters, signs, for print and socials. We've already started working on vendor booths. We have 11 vendors already who are interested in securing vendor space. That's about half of what we had last year. And we're now giving a district rate for businesses in the district to have a booth. So it's $35 for a booth for anyone. It's $28 if you're in the district, and it's free if you are a committee or a group in the city that wants to have a booth, like the nature group we talked about, or if the DDA has a booth. Well, the DDA has a booth, but if the historic committee wanted to have a booth, say. I'm thrilled to be working with Mark Watts from Boys to Men and the Chamber of Commerce to offer local businesses opportunities to sponsor and or have a booth presence at the festival. He's also expressed a desire to be a sponsor, and he'll have 2 booths, both for Boys to Men and for the Chamber, and a food truck at the festival. So he's getting very invested in the festival. Also, yesterday, I spoke quickly to Parks and Rec Committee to find out what kind of ownership they want over the family fun zone. Do they want ownership that day, like they did last year, which was terrific, or do they want autonomy? And so we'll be meeting with them, our team will be meeting with them probably prior to the next meeting. Okay, thank you.
Moving on. Rick, it's just in time for public comment if you wish. Okay. All right, let's move on to old business. Is there any? No?
No.
Okay, moving on to new business. Take it away, Austin.
Thank you, Pam. Last month, we were not able to meet, and usually the last meeting of the month, we would vote on the meeting dates for the following year. And because we were not able to meet, we will do that today. So presented is a memo that shows that we will continue holding our meetings for the DDA on the 3rd Friday of each month at 12 p.m. All the dates for 2026 will be on the 3rd Friday, except in June, it will be on the 4th Friday in observance for Juneteenth. So we did last year take a look, and we tried tirelessly to see if there was an alternative date, but in time to meet of the month and of the day, but we could not get a consensus or a clear direction. So we're just going to stick with the 3rd Friday of each month. So we just need approval for these meeting dates.
Okay,
Motion to approve?
Second?
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, moving on to DDA mid-year budget amendments.
Yes, thank you. So we do this twice a year. We do it in the midpoint of the year, and then we also do it at the end of the year to close up our financials so that the auditors can proceed. You'll see that there is a amended budget attached to the memo. When it comes to the revenue, the
I'm sorry,
total,
Austin, are you covering the annual report? or
are we going to annual report? Okay.
She said mid-year, but can we,
Oh, you heard.
Oh, yeah,
I-
yeah, yeah.
I just want to,
Oh,
you're doing
you're-
the
we
annual? I
skipped
just
over
wanna
the
be-
annual report,
Yeah,
yep.
okay, all right.
So we have our annual report by state law. We do this at the end of the calendar year to make sure that there is a report of all the activities and programs for the DDA. There were some, we had some new members join us this coming year, and we ended at least in the midpoint for FY 25-26 with the fund balance at $1,622,910. During the year, we had 10 different community events. We had over 100 volunteers, 1,000 volunteer hours, and 1,800 attendees at the different events that we held throughout the year. This was also one of the first years in the last few that we were able to keep the DDA staff together.
It's in
The main points I wanted to bring out on the report, we don't have to get too much into it, is that the Tri-City Business Support Team, so that's Oak Park, Southfield, and Lathrup Village, we're continuing our joint efforts and moving forward with working to have trainings that are open to both all 3 of our communities, instead of trying to work separately and trying to have different programs that are offered to our community, but excluding Southfield doesn't make much sense when we're right in the middle of Southfield. And also Oak Park has a great capital improvement district there, and their staff is fantastic to work with and do a great job at helping put on events, sponsor events. So we're excited to work with them, and in my report you'll see that we have a exciting training opportunity coming up. We also were able to gain a new Chamber of Commerce here in the DDA for our communities. As of this time, we have over 40 businesses that are registered to be a part of the Chamber. Throughout the year, we did different streetscaping events. We also did see that the 3 hawk signals that we've been talking about for a long time be installed. 2 of them are activated, the 2 north of I-696, the 1 south of 696 should be activated by mid-year. And I'm proud to say that we were able to complete our 5-year alleyway and approach program a year early. And over these 5 years, we were able to invest $1,288,899 in our DDA district. And the alleyways seem like a small little project, but it's actually vital for traffic going through the DDA as well as deliveries for the businesses. A lot of communities have trouble finding the funding to update and improve their alleyways. So for our businesses to have these fresh corridors to move along their businesses is very important. We held the 3rd annual Lathrup Village Music Festival. We had a great turnout, a great event. We had over 1,500 people attend, 23 local vendors. We had a full bar, a great lineup, and as Lauren said, we're doing it again this year. Tom, you want to talk a little bit about St. Baldrick, what you did this year? I thought it was very great.
So earlier this year, or last year I should say, we did the first annual Shape-a-thon with the St. Baldrick's Foundation for Cancer Research. The city and the DDA collectively raised $1,500 for it. And as no good deed goes unpunished, and I went bald for it. So we have been in talks with St. Baldrick's. They do want to work with us again on a new project, and that might be coming sooner than we think, but that might be a summer kickoff event for us. But we will keep you all abreast as we move forward with the planning on that.
And for Tom taking on this effort, St. Baldrick actually invited him to be an ambassador for them.
Yes.
So he actually now acts as an ambassador for St.
Oh,
Baldrick's.
wow, that's nice.
And interesting enough, we've got the music festival, we have what you're doing, St. Baldrick's. We have Project Diamond, which is a initiative by the county to bring 3D printers to businesses. So throughout Oakland County. And Tom also is an aficionado of 3D printing. And he made 50 sets of maracas that were sold at the music festival. I'll tell you what, people would walk up and everyone would ask about them. And even those who didn't seem that intrigued about it, as soon as they found out that they were 3D printed and Tom made them, they were very excited to learn more about the process of 3D printing. And like I said, I'll talk about soon about how 3D printing can help our corridor here. But Tom sold them all for $10, and all of the proceeds were donated to St. Baldrick's. So thank you, Tom. That was
We made
really
just over, I think, $500 for that.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
Excellent.
We also coordinated with Parks and Rec and Food Truck Friday. Those continue to go on in Municipal Park, and they will again be presented this summer. And we held the 2nd annual Lathrup Village Winter Festival, which was another great success, a good turnout of residents. And for the first time, we were able to do the tree lighting outside, which was a really fun experience. And that's all I got with the DDA annual report. It'll be up on the website so that it can be accessed at all times.
Do you want to mention the term expiration for that?
Oh, yes, so I want to thank Dan for all of your time that you have you've given to us. This will be Dan's last meeting. So we will have a new representative from Michigan first, and then I'll be talking with Fred to see if he would like to take on another term, and we can see if we can get that approved shortly.
Sounds good. Yeah, thanks, it's been fun.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
And it's been 8 years, which is crazy, so I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a fixture here, so I'm moving on.
Well, you will be missed. Okay, you want to proceed to the next item? Dr.
Yes.
Austin?
So DDA staff and the board of directors annually work together to establish a realistic revenue projections and adopt a budget aligned with expected operational and programmatic needs. As standard practice, the DDA limits budget amendments to no more than twice per year. Included in this packet are recommended budget amendments that have been reviewed and discussed by staff based on current year activity and projected trends for the remainder of the fiscal year. The proposed mid-year FY 25-26 DDA budget amendments adjust both revenue and expenditures to reflect updated activity, finalize grant awards and known project costs while maintaining a balanced budget. We will have a final budget amendment recommendations to you during our June meeting. The revenue, total revenues are increased by approximately $93,800. The increase is primarily attributed to the recognition of grant revenue, including the DTE Foundation and DNR tree grant, as well as a small business tax reimbursement from the state of Michigan. Adjustments to the tax increment finance and capture revenue related to reclassifications based on Oakland County settlement information, in alignment of the music festival and Main Street revenues with actual and expected receipts. Total expenditures are increased by approximately $98,350. Key expenditure adjustments include an increase in streetscaping expenditures, including those related to snow removal and lawn maintenance. Minor adjustments to the auditing and accounting services due to allocation changes. Alignment of line items such as tax tribunal returns, repairs, maintenance, capital expenditures, grant programs with known obligations and project timelines. So the fund balance, how it will be impacted, the amended budget remains balanced with revenue equaling expenditures. The ending fund balance remains stable and sufficient to support ongoing operations for future DDA initiatives. And as we all know, that the fund balance has been remained and contained, and expanded for the, at least currently on pause, Boulevard project down Southfield. So we would like to preserve those funds, so if the project were to pursue, we could move forward with the matching grant of a larger grant we would have to obtain for this project in coordination with the city of Southfield and Beverly Hills. But for the time being, the fund balance is healthy and stable.
And for the record, that was one of the first thing we talked about when I got here 8 years ago.
Was it?
Saving money for that road.
Yeah.
So.
And Southfield has already turned it down, right?
No,
No.
we turned it down, Southfield approved.
That's right.
And
We
it's
turned
moving
it-
forward.
you're right.
Which doesn't mean
You're right, I'm sorry.
we won't necessarily be involved in the future, it's just the timing was really, really horrible for us, so
Yeah.
we voted it down, right? Just because
Yeah.
the master plan was just kicking off.
Well, yeah, then
So-
that's a lot of money. to
Right, well,
commit.
it would have come out of tri-party funds, so it wouldn't have cost us anything, but it didn't really make sense to us, given the fact that we were embarking on the master plan. And what if the master plan comes back and says, we absolutely don't want that? And then we've spent, our tri-party funds, which could have been used on something else, so we really wanted to wait to see till after the master plan.
Okay. I'm probably getting too far into the weeds here, but I noticed under streetscaping, you added the Paradise Landscaping snow removal, but the rest of the snow removal, but the rest of the Paradise Gardens budget is down under repairs and maintenance. So why?
We have 2 contracts with them. One is for maintenance of snow along 11 Mile, one is for snow along 11 Mile, and the other is for the flowering, or watering of the flowers, as well as maintenance of the median grass during the summer. So we have a contract with them for the summer and a contract with them for the winter.
Yeah, I get that, I'm just saying, why aren't they both
And
under
and it could be
repairs and
something
maintenance?
when we get towards the final budget amendments, we're looking at everything more.
Okay.
And we decide, hey, let's just group everything together. Just base up, with mid-year, we try to keep high level, just get through, make sure everyone knows where we're at. But it could be something where, hey, at the end of the year, hey, let's adjust where we actually budgeted these and move them down.
Okay, all right. Well, and as you might imagine, my main concern here was making sure we have adequate funds for plant materials. And because they're lumped in with banners and holiday decorations, it's a little bit hard.
Understandable.
But my recollection is that we estimate about 5,000 for that.
I
going
believe
in.
so. I believe it was between 5 or
If
7,000.
If it's maintained at that number, I think we can hit it. Okay. Does anyone else have any questions or comments about the mid-year budget amendments?
The biggest thing I just want to remind DDA, naturally, we did get hit with the Michigan first
Yes.
tax tribunal return this year. One thing with the state chart of accounts, what they like us to do now is zero out budgets. That's why you're not seeing the fund balance go up and down. If you look under revenues, it does say anticipated use of fund balance. That 80 grand that's in there is essentially the return to Michigan First. So we had this conversation a few months ago. We knew at the end of the day when we do year end, DDA will be dipping into its fund balance because of this return. But it's nothing that we're majorly concerned about right now.
And you don't need a vote on that today?
Yeah, we're
We
looking
do,
to
to-
approve
for the
the major
budget.
budget.
We do.
Amendments.
Okay, all right, can I get a motion to that effect? then?
I move to approve the mid-year FY 25-26 budget amendment.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. And that brings us to the Lathrup Village Music Festival. once again.
Yes. So as Lauren told y'all, we have begun the kickoff for the music festival. And to begin booking acts, we need to do it 6 months out, 7 months, 9 months out. So now's the time that we actually start booking acts so that we can make sure that we secure them for the date, and also we secure their deposits for them to commit to that time. We were able last year to work with finance and get a line item for the music festival to have expenditures and one for revenue. So this allowed for funds to be available. That was something in the past that was quite difficult, is that we couldn't actually spend any money until we got sponsorship money in. And we have kicked off the sponsorship round, but we were able to have funds that carried over. As you recall, the second annual was under budget and funds. We returned the $10,000 that was committed to the DDA back. We budgeted again for last year, and we were able to return the funds back. And we actually had a grant or a surplus of over $8,300. And then also this year the DDA has committed $10,000, but we'd also hopefully our goal is to return that back so that the entire festival is sponsorship driven and paid for. So the first act is the band that first contract we'd like to present to you is for a band that performed last year. They performed right before the headliner. It's a husband and wife duo. They're fantastic. They have a great sound, great stage presence and engagement with the crowd, and we'd love to have them back. So it's Boddum Line Band. Their contract is for $1,000, and today we're coming to ask for their $1,000 deposit so that we can secure them for the Saturday, September 12th festival date.
I just want to interject about Boddum Line. They're not husband and wife, just so
Oh.
his wife's not
Pardon me.
upset.
Oh, sorry about that.
Because his wife's
Sorry.
the manager. That being said, and thank you so much, Austin, Boddum Line was new to us last year. They're a local event and bar band with the front woman, Jeannie Lyles, who is just amazingly talented and effervescent, and guitarist Glenwood Hayes. They showed up early last year with 2 rows of fans, and they stayed all day, and they rocked the stage. 5-person band, 45-minute set, $1,000, and we're looking for a $500 deposit, and then we pay $500 at the end.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the contract for Boddum Line?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
All right. So the second contract we've come to ask for approval for is for a band called Cast Iron Cornbread. They are a band that's been at all 3 of the music festivals. They are a crowd favorite. They're personally my favorite of all the bands that have performed. And they're starting to become the band's house band. And this year we would love to give them we're hoping to give them the headliner set. So we're asking to execute a $1,200 performance contract with a $600 deposit.
And thank you, Austin. Yeah, they're the #1 fan favorite when we have surveyed people and asked back every year so far. This year as a headliner, they'd be performing our closing set, and a 5-person band, 60 to 75-minute set, $1,200 deposit, $600, and then $600 at the festival.
Okay, sounds like a deal. Can we get a motion to approve the contract?
Move to approve.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, motion carries. And 2 more.
Thornetta
One more.
Davis is my favorite.
Is she?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
she's
seen her
fantastic.
live for 20 years. She's awesome.
She is. She's a good person, too. She's
Yeah.
got great energy. So, Thornetta Davis performed, oh, okay. Thornetta Davis, she performed at the third annual? Second annual Lathrup Village Music Festival. She was great. She came, she brought a crowd, she brought her own crowd, and she was actually double booked that day. So she did early set for us, and then went to Ypsilanti and performed for a second set. So she was a really hard person to get booked. And we have always said that if we're gonna book a band, we want them to also commit to the rain date, which is the following day. Now, Thornetta Davis, as Dan said, she's amazing, and we would love to have her, but she cannot commit to the rain date, which would be the following day. She cannot commit to the September 13th. So we've gone back and forth if we would want to actually sign her, to get her under contract, because she would be probably the highest performed artist. She has said that if any type of canceling of the festival or delaying it to the rain date always comes down to the police department. It's their call. So it's Chief Zhang's decision, so it's out of our hands if it proceeds or not. And she said that she would, if we give her the deposit, that she would commit to the 5th annual music festival. So if the music festival is canceled on the 12th due to weather and pushed to the 13th, she won't be able to perform, but she would perform at the next version of the festival or perform at another city function in the next 12 months. So I'm on the fence about this because I really would like to have artists commit for both the day of and the rain date, but she's also somebody who the community loves. And her performance was the best performance I've seen out of the 2 festivals that I've been a part of, 3 festivals.
This will be your third one.
Third one. That she is just, she's a star. So, Laura, if you'd like to
Thank you,
say your 2
Austin.
cents.
Thornetta Davis is the queen of the blues in Detroit, she brought a crowd with her for the 2024 performance and killed it. But afterwards, she walked around and shopped with all the vendors and made herself really accessible to all of her fans, which was amazing. We're looking for a 60 to 75-minute set as our first headliner during the afternoon. Thornetta Davis doesn't come if she's not a headliner. I mean, you can't have her not call her a headliner. She's amazing. So her set is $3,000 and the deposit's $1,500 balance at the festival. The caveat is that Ms. Davis is only available on the afternoon of the 12th, and she's double booking again. We got her. If it's a rain day on the 13th and she's not available to perform, we normally request, like Austin said, that everyone commit to both days. But here's why I want to book her anyway. She's Queen of Blues, and she's a Detroit icon. She's won over 30 Detroit Music Awards, and including sweeping the 2017 and 2018 DMAs. She's making herself available for us on Saturday, even though she's double booked, and her other venue is working with us, and we set a time. Everybody's working together because everybody wants Thornetta. If we have a rain date, as Austin said, Ms. Davis agrees to use our deposit toward a promised performance within 12 months or at the 2027 LVMF. So Saturday's lineup would look like this. It would be 12 o'clock till 10 o'clock because we're putting more time in between our performers so that we can push people more towards our vendors, our bar, and the children's area, and in between, and eating. If she were not to be able to perform on Sunday, we would cut her and we would go to 12 to 8, which would cut a half an hour in between time and her hour and a half performance. So if we had a rain date, the Sunday performance time would actually be better because people don't want to be out till 10 o'clock on Sunday night. That's why I think that would actually work. And I already have lineup set up, and it would reflect in everyone else's contract that they may have Saturday lineup time, they may have a Sunday lineup time. We want to secure both headliners. If we have a rain date, we still have a headliner in Cast Iron Cornbread who is such a favorite. Here's another thing I want to present. If the board is concerned about the deposit being held over to the next fiscal year, I'm willing to pay the deposit, and I'm willing to pay the performance balance. And so if she performs on the 12th, I'll get reimbursed after the performance. If she doesn't perform on the 12th, I will carry that balance into the next fiscal year. I'll be reimbursed after we start approving contracts to be moved. And why would I do that? Because Miss Thornetta Davis is the queen of blues in Detroit, and she's an international blues goddess and a real treasure, right here in our backyard. So, and she cut her performance fee from $3,500 to $3,000, even though she was double booked, because she felt bad about not being able to commit to both days too. Also, I'm confident in my fundraising and my ability to create a lineup that will draw the community together and to grow our audience from last year. So to give you an overview, Saturday's bands would be, there would be 8 bands, Sunday's bands would be 7 bands. Saturday we'd end at 10, Sunday we'd end at 8. There are 3 or 4 bands returning that were favorites. There are 4 or 5 new bands. We're looking at many new bands right now. Singer-songwriter opening, the same focus. We're going forward with blues, R&B, soul, funk, rock, not jazz. Kimmy Horn's got the jazz the month before. We will be known for this. And we're also going to be known for our stage and our sound and our lights and our professionalism and our accommodations to our artists, because almost all of them asked to come back this year. And that's it.
I have a question. So let's say she can't come that next date. Is there going to be a replacement singer for her? No.
No, we will just cut the day to 8 o'clock, and it's Sunday. I've already mushed a lineup. It'll go smoothly.
Okay.
It'll just end earlier, and we still have a headliner.
So we're looking for board's direction. Is this something that you guys would like to move forward on? At first, we were very hesitant, but with Thornetta Davis being such a big draw and such a solid performer, and also with Lauren offering to be the one to put the money up to secure, we thought we'd at least come and see what the board thought and what direction you guys wanted to go in with the music festival.
Yeah, I was hesitant until I heard the plan for Sunday, which actually makes a lot of sense, because people aren't going to want, if there is a rain date, people probably aren't going to want to be out till 10.
Yeah.
So it sounds like there's a really
Especially
good
Sunday night.
workaround if there's a rain date. So.
I'm reminded of an old boss of mine that said, you wanna play to win or play not to lose? You gotta plan for the rain date anyhow, so it
You
doesn't
do.
really matter.
Yeah.
So I would, obviously, I've already voiced my opinion on Thornetta Davis. I think just the mere fact that she's gonna bring 500 people to come see her is the way to do it. She is that good. So my vote would be in favor, so I will make the motion.
I'll second it.
Well, before we vote,
Yeah.
I would just like to share a personal observation about Thornetta Davis. In the 80s and early 90s, I was the Detroit News entertainment editor, and we did a number of stories on her, but she was big back then. So all these years later, she's still going strong. I gotta respect that, because I've been retired for years now.
Pam, I saw her in the 80s. One of
Yep.
my first live concerts was on Cass Avenue, in this broke-down little joint.
Yeah.
My brother, we had a habit of seeking out live music, and it was stunning. I mean, the performance, you couldn't get another person in this place, and my car got broke into that day, but it was still really, really fun. It wasn't, Cass Avenue was what it is today, but it was, she just kept singing all night. I felt like it was 1 in the morning when we left. It was crazy.
I've known her since the 90s, and she's still great.
Yeah.
Still drawing a huge crowd and
Yeah.
still in high demand.
I saw her in Plymouth a few years ago at their Friday Music in the Park, and she was still very good and still packed. There was 5,000 or 6,000 people down there, so.
Well, I've always thought your name sounded familiar, and now I know why. I never knew that.
Okay, Dan, you ready?
Yeah, motion to cut the check, and you don't have to guarantee the funds. I think
Yeah.
that we can apply that. So I appreciate the offer, but
Thank you.
motion to approve the deposit for Thunder Davis, even in light of her not making the rain date.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Now I'm hungry.
Okay. What about our DDA-owned parcel?
So, we engaged with Claire of Sowen Farms about having a lease to own to see if that was more acceptable with her budget. Because urban nurseries they have a very thin profit margin, she was not able to get the funds together to make the purchase. So
Any purchase.
Any purchase. So we tried to structure a lease to own, but she was still not engaged. So the project will not proceed at this time, but she's local. She lives only a mile away. She's really committed to doing her own project. She works right now at an urban nursery, and that's how she
Is it
wants.
that she couldn't get funding? I mean, she had a proposal to operate a business. What was the original
The
plan?
cost for the property was too much.
Well, but you said zero. Like how much money did she want to pay?
She would not give a counteroffer. We tried getting her to at least counter, and she wouldn't counter.
Yeah, she wouldn't counter on actual full purchase price, and she didn't even want to counter on a lease offer.
Yeah, and we were gonna work with her on the terms and the length, but she wasn't willing to even counter.
Sounds like a funding issue.
Yeah, it could be, and I'm not done. I mean, last night Parks and Rec, we were talking about it, that this is a great project. This is exactly what we're looking for. It's a low impact. It actually would be a net positive on the stormwater management in that area of the city. And it also fits well into the fabric of where the business and commercial corridor comes together with the neighborhood district. So I would like to re-engage with her and see how we can make this work. But just so you're all aware, at this time, the project will not proceed. So that means the lot is still available either to have a new RFQ put out or to wait until market conditions change.
Does she have an offer? I mean, in the initial, not the follow-up engagement, but the primary engagement. Did she have an offer to us before we came to her with a price, or?
No, the way it was written is a request for qualification. So we were just seeking developers and their ideas who were interested, because we did it for this lot and the city-owned lot across the street.
Yeah.
So that's the direction we went. We just want to see if there's actual developers. So another option that we could consider is actually giving Austin direction to put an RFP out for a realtor and see if we can actually get true cash offers for these lots. But the initial one was just, hey, is someone interested in it, and what do you want to build there? Because then we would adjust and negotiate from there.
And the reason we went with an RFQ rather than an RFP was because then we could have more say over the concept of what would be actually built there.
Right, I'd rather go out with another RFQ than an RFP
Yeah.
for a
Do you want to proceed now, or would you want to wait to see if market conditions change?
Go back to her. Isn't there some option where we can partner with her to look for grant funds to help her to get in and build the project that we want there?
We could do that.
I mean, that's the direction I would take. That, we didn't even know we owned that property, so it's not like somebody's trying to make, I don't want to speak on behalf of the council, but I don't think you're looking to make a lot of money. You want to put something there that'll be a benefit of the community. So
Absolutely.
I would exhaust every effort to put her into that. Now,
Okay.
if we haven't asked her about the financial piece of it, if she can't afford it, then there's no sense putting her since she's gonna fail in. But ultimately, if she has a sound business plan and can drum up some grant funds or find a silent investor to come in and do that, I think that would be pretty cool. But it sounds to me like something changed for her. Like she had a partner she was talking about, I remember, and maybe that person backed out.
Possibly.
I did reference with her a very similar concept in Plymouth at that time, and she said she knew them, and then like a week later, I found out that place wanted out, so that they looked for to sell that place. So Plymouth Orchard owns it, and they want to sell that nonprofit. So
Before we even began talking with her during the RFQ process, she had to show proof of funds. So she did have her investor provide proof, and they did have adequate funds to proceed with the project. So it's more about the actual acquiring of the property. That's where there's a hiccup, because there is gonna have to be some changes to it. It's overrun with buckthorn, there's trees that need to come down to make the space. There's gonna have to be a fence put up to protect from deer. There's gonna have to be a building of a small structure that had an office, bathroom, and a processing for the plants and herbs and fruit. So there was gonna have to be an investment into the property. I think she was hoping to get the property at quite a low price so that she could invest more funds in the actual infrastructure improvements on the property.
Well, she has to say that price.
Right.
If you don't say the price, you can't get the property.
And that's part of our frustration, because we even reached out to the assessors to get, because I know that was one of the questions of, hey, how do we come up with our price that we were going with her at? We worked with the assessors and we got the assessor value on, hey, market versus a sale, and she didn't even counter at the sale
There's
price.
intrinsic value there for the right development,
Yeah.
so you need to work with that and talk to her.
And I think, like I said, I think it's a great project, and I would love to see it in that part of the city. And I also would hate to see her go to another community when we could have had them here. And going into, there'll be a part of my monthly report about an update an exciting opportunity that we're trying to be a part of. And it involves attracting businesses where they can either make, bake, or produce a product on-site, package it, and then sell it in a retail front. And it's like, that fits in exactly with what we're looking to do.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I agree that I think we should try to either work with the Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development to see if there's any funding out there with them,
Yeah.
Or is
or
there
with MEDC.
I was just saying, is that something, I mean, DC would, yeah, like I said last night, I mean, I think it's a perfect project for the parcel, but if we can't make a go of it, then I would say put an RFQ back out and try and get another.
So do we
But-
vote?
but I think
I'm
we
with
should-
Dan, though, that we should exhaust all efforts.
Yeah, no, I'm agreeing, I'm just saying, if that fails, I think we should go with an RFQ.
Should we
But
give
we
you
already-
60 or 90 days to figure that out
Yeah,
before
that
we
works.
revisit it?
Yeah, 90 days would be great.
Yeah,
And we already put out 2 RFQs, right?
Correct.
yeah.
So I'm not sure that we,
Right, but
yield anything from a third right
The
away.
only interest
That's the
was
thing. Would we
from
want to do an
Claire.
RFQ, or would we want to try the realtor route? Try to find someone that
Yeah.
actually specializes in land, some has those connections versus,
But we lose control, we lose a lot of control.
we
if
don't
do that,
necessarily
right?
lose control, that's where the purchase agreement comes into play. Because no matter what, the DDA or city still has to approve a purchase agreement where you can lay out the terms of everything you want.
Okay.
You're just having that person who does this for a living actually, and
Yeah.
work and get their little commission to sell the piece of property.
Yeah, that would make me more comfortable, as long as we have that, as long as we don't lose control, either way would be
Yeah,
fine.
well, you gotta think, it's just like selling your house, you can say no to every single offer.
Right.
So it's not binding contract, it's just getting a professional in here to do it.
Has it given any thought to a community garden there? Like a managed community garden?
Well, currently there is a community garden and it's actually losing interest. So
Yeah.
they're actually struggling to keep it going
Yeah.
with what's already existing.
We did have internal conversations about possibly moving that to the parcel already. But with waning interest from the community, what would be the point if we could put development in? But if there is growing,
Yeah. I just drive by the one on
yeah.
down here all the time, and it seems to be managed, it looks cool, I don't know if it's.
Yeah,
cool
recent
about the growing stuff,
conversations.
Yeah, I mean, if there's ever desire for it, if someone wants to take the charge,
Yeah.
not opposed to it.
And we have had recent conversations with a couple members of the community garden, and that was what they expressed was that the interest is waning and that expanding it is not really what's currently the desire for those who have participated or anyone who would potentially be interested in participating in the community garden.
All right, so what do we want to do here? Do we want
I-
to give Boston 60 to 90 days to
Yeah, 90 days.
think it over
90
and
days.
talk
90 days.
to our potential buyer and then come up with a decision after that?
That'd be great.
Okay. Do you need a formal
Yes.
vote on that effect?
No? No vote?
No?
Okay.
Okay. All right, so
Direction received?
table for another day.
Okay.
And now it's your monthly director report.
Yes. We have a new business opening up. They're actually already open. We're going to have a grand opening, though, with the Chamber, Holy Burger, located at the intersection of 11 Mile and Southfield at the southeast corner. Please come on out. You're all been invited for the Thursday, January 22nd, 1 p.m. opening. So that's a week next week, next Thursday. Join city officials, staff, community members as we welcome Holy Burger the newest restaurant in Lathrup Village. The grand opening will include a brief ceremonial welcome and an opportunity to meet the owners and staff while showing support for the new business. I've tried it a couple times already. I think it's fantastic. So if you haven't, please go on over there. They got both chicken and burgers, and also they have a chopped cheddar, which is fantastic. I had it and couldn't say more about it.
What type of burger?
It's called a chopped cheddar. So they
Okay.
take cheddar cheese and put it in the patty itself.
Oh,
It's
Oh, wow.
delicious.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Highly recommend it. We also have a training opportunity coming up on Friday, January 30th at Lawrence Tech. Join leaders from across the region for our dynamic half-day simulcast event designed to elevate personal and professional growth. It's called Live to Lead. There features world-class leadership experts sharing time-tested principles, actual strategies, and personal development techniques to help attendees create meaningful change. This high-impact 4-hour experience equips participants with renowned focus, practical tools, and a clear action plan to accelerate their leadership journey in the year ahead. So we hope that the business community and entrepreneurs look and will attend. And then, as part of the Tri-City Business Support Team with Southfield and Oak Park, we're hosting the Magic of Customer Service. The individual's name is Anthony Grappito. He is a motivational speaker and also teaches about customer service, but he does it in a very unique way. He comes out like in a straitjacket and then gets out of it while talking about how to overcome challenges in business life. So that will be held on Tuesday, February 24th from 10 to 11:30 at the Southfield Public Library and Auditorium. So please take a look. The post is on the DDA's social media, so the link to register is on there. Past
Is there a
event,
cost for both of those?
say that one more time.
Is there a cost for both of those?
Yes, there is a small cost for, I believe, the second training, so the training that is on February 24th. January 30th, there may not be a cost for that one. I can't recall it off the top of my head. And then we had a grand opening last week on Wednesday, January 7th. It was a grand reopening of Belviso Global Aesthetics. It is a permanent makeup studio that is located just north of us here. The owner originally started their business in 2009 in London and then moved over to the US, and for the past 7 years has been here in Lathrup Village. They just did a big redo of their interior and a relaunch. They've got a great business there. They're also doing classes, teaching for permanent makeup. So it was a great event. And then we had the Tri-City Holiday Mixer, which was on December 17th, where the business communities of Oak Park, Southfield, and Lathrup came out. We went and met at Mother Handsome in Oak Park. Updates to businesses. Holy Burger they got their certificate of occupancy and their business license, and they've been open since late last week. And then also, it's been a long time coming, but they're here. Holbrook Auto Parts at 26600 Southfield Road received final approvals, and then hopefully in the next couple weeks, so by mid-February, their signage will be put up. They'll have a new principal wall sign on the front-facing Southfield side, and then the monument sign, the existing non-compliant monument sign will be, the face of it will be redone. So we have 2 new businesses here in the city that we're excited to have. And infrastructure, I had a meeting yesterday. When it comes to our capital improvement plan, all the DDA initiatives, we've succeeded with the alleyway projects being completed a year early. So we're looking at what future projects we would like to have here in our DDA district. So we're looking into a new monument sign, either at both ends at Southfield and 12 Mile. There's currently an existing monument sign that could bring some more life to it. And then the welcome sign on the south side of Southfield Road at Lincoln is very passable. And forget that you even cross out of Southfield into Lathrup Village. So we met with DDA-Owned in Hazel Park, who's worked with many local communities like Madison Heights and Royal Oak for their signage. And we talked about possibly having a design that incorporates the monument sign and banners so that people know that when they enter Lathrup Village, they're in a new community, that they've entered a different district, and kind of give our DDA district its own feel. But we're in the early stages of that, but we'd like to add that to the capital improvement plan, in cooperation with the purchase of new banners on our signposts, as well as getting the hooks for the flower pots raised up. So this year, we don't lose any. And as a part of that, we also got a quote already for the horticulturist who grew the flowers that we had last year on Southfield Road, which were so well received, 5 of them got stolen. He starts early. He starts in February or late March or early March.
Yeah, either one.
Yeah. And the roots are already, when they get put up in May, they're already well established. So in July, they're just flowing out of the pot. So we're gonna hopefully get next month his quote brought to you all, so that we can get that under contract and secure him, because he did a fantastic job last year. And also he put in all new soil, which nobody else was willing to do.
To go back to the
yeah.
signs, one thing I think you and I have talked about before is putting a sign on the triangle pediment in the building out front here.
Yep.
That's the City of Lathrup Village.
Yep.
I mean, if you want recognition.
That's a good one as well.
We had approved that about, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, and it just never happened. We being council, not the DDA, but that's something that would be great to look at again too, because people talk about driving by City Hall and not even knowing, like as you said, they're not knowing that they're in a different community, and that would really help it stand out.
And I agree that, and the cost of that wouldn't be that much.
No, not at all.
No.
So.
One more thing about the signs. I remember just a few years ago, I was maintaining some plants there by the southern, well, by both of them, but mainly the southern sign area. And there is so much trash that blows in that area. And we haven't had a Southfield cleanup in quite some time. It might be something we consider, unless we can figure out a way to make it happen
No, I think
with our staff.
I think this
or
spring is
our
the time
contractors.
to get the volunteers out and do a walk of the DDA and get it cleaned up a little bit. I agree.
Yeah, because when we have those deep ditches, around the whole corridor, and it's just a magnet for.
Even traffic barrels get caught in them, so
Yeah.
there's currently one stuck right now. Miscellaneous part, this is the big part, the big item I want to talk with you all about. So there is a consulting firm called Recast Leaders. It was founded by Alana Pruce. She is a well-renowned urban planner, and she actually was the chief of staff for the Environmental Protection Agency Smart Growth Program in the Obama administration. And after she left, she started a consulting firm. And for the last 7 years, she has selected 6 communities, 5 to 6 communities a year from across the country to do a 10-month cohort program where they all meet twice a month. But in between that time, they have assignments to do different engagement or development to create a actionable economic development strategy that can be implemented in their downtown district. And the Ralph C. Jr. Wilson Foundation and the Michigan Municipal League have come together to ask recast cities to come to Southeast Michigan. So, the application deadline actually ends next Friday, but they have asked communities to consider being a part of it. And it will be a 10-month program where we work with the consultant as well as a cohort, which we've selected Tracy Williams of Oakland Thrive and Mark Watts of the Lathrup Village Chamber of Commerce to be a part of it, to work together to create creator spaces. So this is, like I said earlier, where anything that can be made, baked, or produced on-site, packaged, and sold is, we would love to have an overlay district that permits our DDA district to have a permitted use by right for that type of activity to occur. So this would attract new investors, attract a new type of investment entrepreneur as well, and also give a lot of the property owners have been asking, with the decline of retail and office space, especially trying to compete with our big neighbor, Southfield, who has abundance of Class A office space, is difficult to get art offices rented out. So the property owners are asking, what else can they do with their buildings? And this would give them another opportunity. And this would also give an opportunity to bring in businesses that they don't leave, they stay. And one of the big initiatives as a part of the county's Project Diamond is 3D printing. So they're looking to have spaces where there are 3D printers for any individual who wants to produce a product that they've designed themselves via CAD. They can just come and send it to the printer, and it would be produced there on site. So this is an exciting initiative. We had a great conversation with Alana Pruce on Tuesday afternoon, and our application's being considered. We really hope to be selected. This is about between 20 and 40 grand worth of consulting that would be for free. It's no cost, all covered by the Ralph C. Jr. Wilson Foundation and the Michigan Municipal League. And it would also give us an opportunity to engage with our businesses and our property owners in the DDA more to find out exactly what they would like to see.
How does that tie into the strategic plan?
So actually, we spoke, before we submitted our application, we spoke with the consultant who's doing our comprehensive plan, and they thought, they were really excited because they think these two initiatives can run parallel and actually there'll be some crossover. Things that can be developed from the master plan can be implemented into the economic development strategy. Things from the economic development strategy can be incorporated into the master plan. So it's really exciting initiatives, and we think we have a decent chance. We hope to, but we'll keep you updated. If we find out before next meeting, we'll let you all know. But this would be a big commitment, but Tom and I are really excited about it.
To that as well, jumping on to Project Diamond, once a month, the first Wednesday of every month, Project Diamond basically has an open house. They'll invite anyone who is either a part of the project, or if you want to just learn more, to go out to their headquarters up in Auburn Hills at Geofabrica. I went earlier this month to their open house, blown away by it. They did invite the members of the DDA board and the Planning Commission board. So if you guys want to go out, it's always, I believe, 11 to 1. I can get you any information. You can learn more about it, or you can go to the website and learn more. I've been focusing a lot more on covering like 3D printing aspect of this initiative with Recast Leaders, only because that's what I know. But Alana Pruse, my apologies.
Yep.
Her big example was a small company that had started making hand lotion. Then they went to body lotion, and then they went into 5 different stores within a county, and then they were all around the state. So they know how to make it work. They know exactly where to go. We already had an interview with her earlier this week, and by sounds, she knew exactly how to handle such a matter for this city.
And in town, you want to say the name that you thought of the district we could call it?
Yeah, I had thought, Chicago's got the Miracle Mile. Other places have
St. Clair Shores.
St. Clair Shores has something.
The Nautical Mile.
The Nautical Mile. I thought, why not the Maker's Mile for us?
Oh, wow.
So-
Okay.
And also to point out, Tom, Tracy, and Mark are all part of Project Diamond. They're all learning how 3D printing is done and also the design process. And the things that are going on out at Geofabrica are amazing. I mean, we as a region need to keep 3D printing here. We were the arsenal of democracy, and a part of that manufacturing, our history, we have to keep it here because they're actually. Tom was out there. You couldn't take your phone in because there's a Department of Defense project there currently ongoing. So it's very interesting, and to be able to bring any type of production with 3D printers, or I always think of a baker in Ferndale. She started with a small bake shop. Her cookies were really well received, so she bought an old office building and turned it into a makerspace, where she makes the cookies there and then sells them in her shop down the street. So
And we have that here.
Yep, yeah, with Cooper's Cookies. So this is an exciting initiative, and all 4 of us would just love to be a part of this project. So we're hoping to get selected, and we'll keep you all updated on
Yeah,
process.
good work.
I spoke a little bit about it last month, but Main Street America has a grant that they work with General Motors on. Each year, five $60,000 grants are given out to communities. So we are working with our engineering consultant to come up with a proposal to do roadway markings for Southfield Road and 11 Mile, where traffic accidents have increased, but the severity of injuries have increased. And then also the intersection of Lathrup Boulevard and 11 Mile, where traffic is coming off or onto the expressway, while traffic on the service drive is driving at neighborhood speed. And then you have road traffic coming out of the neighborhoods from Lathrup Boulevard intersecting 11 Mile. So there has been a initial engineering rendering sent over. I'm gonna request some slight changes, and then we're gonna submit this application probably before we see you guys next month. And then finally, gotta give it up to Tom on this one. Michigan Economic Development Corporation has given verbal confirmation that we've been recertified as a redevelopment-ready community. These efforts have not gone unseen at the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. A part of these efforts resulted in us receiving a $28,000 technical assistance grant that covered a large portion of the $40,000 contract for the updating of the master plan. So the city had budgeted $40,000, but it only cost us $12,000. And that's all I got for you this month.
Okay. Any further comments from the board or from the public? If not, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Yes, would you like to speak? Come to the podium.
I just, a couple of real quick things. I was glad to hear Dan just even broach the subject of possibly using that lot for a community garden. I would encourage, if it comes to this after the 60 days, to go with an RFQ rather than RFP, because I still think there's plans out there that people maybe haven't gotten around to. Part of that is a communication problem, which the council has just created a communication committee to hopefully get word out about more of these things so that we get more participation. Maybe we get a plan that we like. I do want to say also that the initial purchase of that lot was intended to increase green space potential for the city. I know that's a long time ago, things change, but I'd still like to at least see that considered. The other thing I wanted to address on that same thing is the waning interest in the community garden and the children's garden. I think perhaps it's too early to judge whether the interest is waning because of resident disinterest or the fact that, you know, leadership for both of those gardens has recently resigned. And when you don't have engaged or you have, you know, leaders that have run to the end, then sometimes participation also wanes. So I think if we see new leadership, we might see that interest actually grow. So those are a couple of things. I wanted to triple or fourth or whatever the word is, Thornetta Davis, great. I performed with her in the 90s as an opening act. Most gracious headliner I've ever opened for. So that was.
What did you do?
I had another life.
You can't drop that bomb.
I was in a band in the 90s, and we did a few shows with her, and she was, like I said, most gracious headliner I've ever played with, but also great, just great. I'd mentioned we are starting a communication committee that I'll be the liaison for out of City Council. I'm hoping that we can also do things that ultimately help the DDA as well, communicate with the residents and the rest of the city, and that we're communicating with you guys. I wanted to plant a real quick seed for investment, and I want to pair that with a comment on the median. I know they're not completely related, but one of the reasons council voted down participating in the median project after all these years of sort of thinking about it was that the advantages that were first sort of visualized when we thought this would be a good idea for the city were largely around the business district and what it would do for the business district. When we reviewed what the county road commission was proposing, those advantages were not clear to us. And I would encourage this group to look at what's being proposed on that median plan and consider whether or not you actually think this would be good for the business, and if not, then perhaps you'll have other uses for that fund that you've been saving for. I don't think it, for instance, lowering the speed, okay, I'm out, but nonetheless, I would have you do that. And I did have one other small item, if I can. Holy Burger is great that it's here, and I'm looking forward to trying it out. I do remember that the sign for the previous building was subsidized by this group. It's part of a program I think that you guys do. I wonder if you've considered whether or not there's some other way to help those businesses, because if they go out of business within a year or two, that's money that you guys spent that didn't really help you in the long term. And is there a way that somehow you can make subsidies to them available, but also somehow contingent on success, or maybe they get a little bit each year? I don't know. I just hate to see that investment and then, you know, suddenly it's a new business and you have to start over again. So, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
I have one more item. I just want to welcome Tracy Williams from Oakland Thrive to the DDA. She has done some amazing things already for our business community in our district, and she's also a resident. Tracy, just want to introduce yourself a little bit.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Tracy Williams. I'm with Oakland Thrive, and of course, a Lathrup Village resident. I'm absolutely thrilled to be a part of the Lathrup Village DDA, and I'm really looking forward to helping out with, you know, economic development in the city of Lathrup Village, which is extremely important. We provide small business support. We're excited about what they're doing. Lathrup Village is seeking to do with the maker spaces, which we hope comes about with a 10-month cohort. And, you know, in our support with small businesses, please, we reach out, I reach out to the small businesses, work with them we help with marketing, accounting, HR, you know, what strategic planning, whatever it may be, you know, because when the small businesses are thriving, the economy thrives in the communities, and that's what we're about. So thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
We're thrilled that you are. Thank you. Okay, now can I get a motion to adjourn? Please, please, okay.
Second.
Very good. All in favor?
Aye.